Welcome back to the O Hockey Show, and today I'm talking about the Chicago Blackhawks and what they need to do with this upcoming trade deadline. Now, they are now the 32nd team in the NHL. They are dead last with a record of 17-32-5, and they are obviously in the hunt for Connor Bedard, right? This team starting in the offseason, they move out Kirby Dach. They move out Alex DeBrincat. They are just deciding to move on from their young guys and keep the old guys, and now they're talking about trading the old guys. It's the strangest idea I've ever heard of. I've never thought of any... They're doing the exact opposite of what they should do. Well, sort of. I mean, they're already bad with those guys, trading away players to tank to try to get maybe the best player of the next generation, equal to McDavid, if you want to say. I mean, that's worth tanking for, but they're just going all the way the wrong ways. They've traded away their young guys for the old guys, so strange moves by them. But the big talk, of course, is Patrick Kane, the number one biggest name to be moved at the trade deadline, probably in years. I mean, this is iconic class player being moved out from his team, right? So the pros of moving him out is that the return, as long as this franchise is as stupid as they have been, should be phenomenal. I mean, 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and, like, a high-ranking prospect. Maybe even something, maybe you go to, like, the Rangers and you get back someone like, I mean, it would be crazy for them to do, but they should be willing to ask for, like, maybe, like, a Lafreniere and a first-round pick, you know? Like, that would be nuts of them to ask for, but that's going to be kind of hard to get from a team like the Rangers who've already traded away their first-round pick. And that's kind of the problem that I'm getting at here, is that the 2 big teams that they were talking about, him going to, the Maple Leafs and the Rangers, I'm guessing the asking price for Kane was way too much. I'm sure they asked about him, and they've moved on and have already traded for those guys. And as Patrick Kane already said, is that he's not the happiest after the Tarasenko trade to the Rangers, but the other team he was apparently eyeing was the Maple Leafs, and they've now traded away first-round picks for Ryan O'Reilly and bringing him in. And there's not a lot of wiggle room when it comes to these teams' cap hits. Because at least with Ryan O'Reilly, his cap was worth enough where the Blues could retain half and the Wild retain another half to bring him down to 1-point-something million. A team can hold half of Kane's contract, trade him for another 3-team trade, and they'd have to hold another $3 million. Like, that's a lot of money for teams to hold on to, and it's just going to be hard for them to do. And the teams that would probably want him, like the Maple Leafs or the Rangers, I don't know how much more they could possibly cut off of themselves and give back in return for Patrick Kane, who's going to be a rental most likely and be hard for them to re-sign, especially for a team like the Rangers. They'd have to get rid of a main piece of their current team for an aging player, right? So, really, the teams that they're eyeing for a trade, it's going to be hard for that to happen for one. So, that's a main con. But another one for me is that the prospect growth. So, sure, right now they're 32nd. They get, let's say season ended today, they go into the draft lottery, they get the number 1 pick, right? Or let's say in 2 days, let's say the trade deadline's tomorrow, and the day after the season ends, and they move out Patrick Kane. The thing that happens with a lot of these teams, like the Devils, is that when they start bringing in these good prospect players, right? They bring in Jack Hughes, they bring in Hischier, and they bring in Alexander Holtz and Mercer and whoever else you want to add on to that list. They bring them into the team, but they have got no one to play with. The team's already awful. Like the Red Wings have been awful for a long time now, right? They've been on a drought of making the playoffs, and they bring in these young guys, but they got no one to help them grow. And the main spotlight is the Devils this year. They finally broke through that ceiling, and they finally all developed to the point where they can make the playoffs. But they didn't have any of that help. And what's genius with what the Kings are doing is that they still have Doughty. They still have Kopitar. They still have Jonathan Quick. They have all the veterans still there and superstar veterans on the team. As they've gotten worse, they've brought in players, and when they can bring up Kaliev, they can bring up Byfield. They bring up all these guys. They can play alongside of Kopitar, who can teach them how to play better, and they get that development, that boost. The Blackhawks here, they trade away Patrick Kane. Let's say they get Connor Bedard this offseason. Who's he going to grow off of? And sure, someone like Connor Bedard, who knows, maybe he's going to be one of those talents that don't need anyone else to help him. But still, Patrick Kane there on that first line is going to be a lot more helpful than him starting his first season and he's playing with Max Domi and Philip Khrushchev, right? He's not going to learn a lot from that. But if he can play alongside Patrick Kane as well as whoever the center it would be next year, that would be a lot more helpful to his, well, I guess he is a center, isn't he? So that, whatever that line would be a lot more helpful for the long run of Connor Bedard to grow, or whoever they get in the offseason, because that's the thing, too. You trade away Patrick Kane, they're already in. I don't even know if that would help them that much to start losing even more, really, because they still got other teams terrible that could get that first-round pick, and this could all be for nothing, and then you're really jeopardizing your whole future to be even worse. So trading out Patrick Kane would be good. Obviously, there's pros and cons to everything. They get a lot back in return, right? Especially if they get 2 first-round picks. Bring them all in, because they definitely need more draft picks. This team's just completely going down the drain. I mean, this might be one of the worst teams in a long time after the Coyotes. Like, the Coyotes might finally start going up. This might be the next Coyotes. The Blackhawks are really digging a hole for themselves, trading away their young guys in Doc and DeBrincat. Like, they are just going to be miserable right now, especially if they don't even get Connor Bedard. But they really need to start building up that youth prospect pool, right? And right now they got two picks in the first 3 rounds, right? Chicago and Tampa Bay for the first 2, and then Chicago and Dallas in the 3rd round. And they definitely need some more draft picks, especially in a year like this where there's so many good talents in this draft. If they could get 2 more first-round picks, that'd be so helpful. And I think they could get that from other guys other than just Patrick Kane. So let's take a look at some other assets they could move out instead. So you've got Max Domi, who's actually got more points than Patrick Kane this year with 38. Kane's got 37. So not a bad year for Max Domi. He's really putting on a show, taking up that first center line role and getting some points out there to try to make a little bit, try to get onto a better team, right? He's taking that opportunity greatly, and a team could trade for him. And I mean, I take a look in the past to like a team like between Tampa Bay and the Sharks one year. The Tampa Bay Lightning traded for Barclay Goodrow, right? And they just threw a first-round pick. Say the Blackhawks, Max Domi's not paid too much. They just say 1 first-round pick, whoever wants to take him off our hands, or 2 second-round picks. Like, I just think of, like, if the Tampa Bay Lightning were willing to trade, I mean, that's how they got the first and second-round pick here is for Brandon Hagel. Maybe the Tampa Bay Lightning are willing, well, I guess they don't have any more first-round picks, but maybe a team like, I don't know, the Hurricanes just are like, okay, we'll take on Max Domi. He used to be in our team, but here's the first round. He's doing good this year. I think we could use some of that grittiness on like our 3rd line or something. He's already great. Bring him on in. That's a first-round pick, right? So Domi, it would be a perfect move for them to get out because they don't need him for their future development, and he's hot right now. Better trade him now than wait till later. So that's a good move, as well as Jonathan Toews, right? So Toews and Kane, there's a big talk about points between the two. And Toews, I think he could get a good draw. I don't know if a first-round pick would be worth him, but I mean, to a team like the Jets or something who would really be useful to have another good centerman on the team, especially for that 3rd or 4th line, and it's a veteran of a guy like Jonathan Toews' stature, that would be huge for a team like the Jets. And it would be hard to make these kind of trades happen because he's paid so much, and I don't really know who'd be willing to take him onto the team anyways. But Toews could bring in something. Not a first-round pick, maybe not even a second, but I don't even know. He's the captain, too. I think it would probably be Patrick Kane. I think you could move out and give him a chance to win a cup. But Jonathan Toews, he's captain serious. I don't know if you'd want to trade him away because he's not going to really help a team win a Stanley Cup, right? Kane will, but Toews won't. I think they'll probably hang on to him. And then I got 2 interesting ones. Jake McCabe. He's the only defenseman on the Blackhawks with a plus and minus. He's got a +3. He's got 19 points as a defenseman. He's been on the Sabres, and now he's on the Blackhawks. He's having an interesting year. I think he'd be a good draw for any team that just kind of needs another solid defenseman, but one that flies under the radar. And teams that come to mind, maybe a team such as, I mean, Vegas would have been a good one, but I feel like their defense this year is really good. But maybe a team, say, maybe like a Tampa Bay, not really a Tampa Bay, maybe a team like the Maple Leafs, who could use a better defenseman back there. Trading partner there, Jake McCabe. Maybe there's a two-piece thing somehow. They could do McCabe and KANE. That'd be crazy. I don't know how the hell they could pull it off, but that'd be an interesting move. But Jake McCabe would be a good pickup for any team, I think, especially this year. +3 on the Chicago Blackhawks of all teams. He's doing pretty good for himself on just the worst team. And then I've got an interesting one. A real question mark is Alex Stalock. He's got a .918 in 14 games played. People seem to love him. His teammates seem to love him. He seems to be a fun guy. And he's been around a long time, and he's got a pretty decent save percentage on the Blackhawks in 14 games. So who knows? Maybe they could trade him out there and just say third-round pick. Who knows? Maybe they bring him on, a team that needs a backup, and just in case anything happens, I don't know. Alex Stalock could be an interesting pickup this year for a team. I don't know who would want him, but that's an interesting asset to put out there. So that is really all I have to say about the Chicago Blackhawks. So thank you for watching this. Please feel free to pick up your free subscription down below by hitting that red subscribe button. If you like this video, leave a like, not a dislike, but go down below to the comment section. And until next time, wait, I forgot. In the comment section, tell me, where do you think Patrick Kane will end up? And I know, I'm pretty stupid, so tell me that down below too. But until next time, too sweet. I hope you're having an amazing day, and ta-ta for now.